Today's topic is nutrition. Nutrition refers to the process by which living organisms obtain and utilize food to support growth, repair, and maintain vital functions. So today I'll be talking on the classification of food and some healthy recommendations regarding food habits. Nutrition or nourishment is providing necessary materials to cells in the form of food to support life. And food are any material that provides nutritive requirement of an organism to maintain growth and well-being. Now come to functions of food. Number 1, it helps in the growth of human body. Number 2, food repairs the daily wear and tear of the body. Number 3, supply energy for production of heat and all activities. Number 4, it protects body from various infections and deficiency diseases. And the number 5, it protects body from obesity. The constituents of food are carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, water and fibers. These are the essential components. Classification of food. Food can be classified in various ways. Depending upon the chemical nature, it can be carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, the dietary fibers and water. By function in the body, food can be divided as energy-giving food, body-building food and protective food. By chemical properties, it can be organic food, inorganic food. By mass, it can be macronutrients, micronutrients. By origin, it can be plant source of food, animal source of foods. And by nutritive values, there are around 12 categories that I'll be discussing in the coming slides. Now come to division according to chemical nature. So these are carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamins, minerals, fibers and water. According to function, we said energy giving food. So energy giving food are carbohydrates and fats. Body building foods are all the proteins. Protective food is protein, vitamins and minerals. They regulate body processes and protect from various diseases. So they are protective food. According to the chemical properties, organic, that means containing carbon element. Inorganic food which do not contain the carbon element. According to mass, can be macronutrients which are required in the higher amounts. These are proteins, carbohydrate, fats required in the larger quantities daily, and they are basis of any diet. Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals are examples of micronutrients. These are needed in very small quantities in the body, but they are very essential for regulating metabolism and energy processes of the body. So both the deficiencies will lead to malnutrition. According to origin, it can be animal source of food and plant source of food. All the green leafy vegetables, animal food are all meat, egg, protein, first class proteins. According to nutritive value, it can be carbohydrate food, it can be cereals and millets, pulses, then nuts and oil seeds are one group. Vegetables can be green leafy vegetables, non-green leafy vegetables, then roots and tubers, then fruits are different categories, and milk and all the dairy milk products, animal food like meat, fish, egg, and then spices. So all these are different food with the nutritive values. Now come to balanced diet. What is balanced diet? According to Park and Park definition, it is diet containing different types of food in such quantities and proportions that the need for energy, amino acid, vitamins, minerals, fats, carbohydrates, and other nutrients is adequately met for maintaining health and general well-being, and also makes a small provision for extra nutrients to withstand short duration of leanness. So this definition is accepted everywhere, but this is too. It can be also defined as mixed diet containing all the essential elements in adequate quantities and proportions that human body needs for repairing wear and tear, and promotes growth and prevents from disease. Criteria of a balanced diet. A balanced diet should be easily available. It should be sufficient to satisfy taste and appetite. It should be palatable. It should be easily digestible and absorbable. Protein and fat should be obtained both from animal and vegetable source, at least 1/3 from animal source. And it should contain sufficient vegetables and fruits. The vitamins and minerals should be present in sufficient quantities in a balanced diet. And certain amount of cellulose or roughage should also be present. Okay, now come to general recommendations. Here I'll discuss two recommendations. One is chooseMyplate recommendation, which is created by US Department of Agriculture, versus I'll be talking on HealthyeatingPlate, which was created by experts at Harvard School of Public Health and Harvard Medical School. So both these concept or recommendations, they provide general guidelines for type of healthy food to be offered on regular basis. So if you can follow these plates, you'll be getting healthy food. So the recommendations says you need to eat 3 meals per day plus 2 healthy snacks in between. Healthy snacks will be very light, like fruits and some very light snacks, and not the junk foods. And this plate has 5 sections. Half of the plate will contain vegetables and fruits. So one section is vegetable, another section is fruits. Another half will contain grains and proteins. So half will contain protein, half part will contain protein. And on the side you'll have a dairy product on the side, like this. So you can see in the picture, half there is fruit section, half there is vegetable sections, and half is grains and half is protein. So these are the 4 divided parts where you should be taking more of vegetables. And on the side there is dairy product. Dairy product can be milk, cheese, butter, paneer, all these things. The general rule for quantity of food to offer in this plate is 1 tablespoon per year of age of each food provided per meal. So per meal, 3 meals we said. So per meal, one, if the child is 1 year old, 1 tablespoon of vegetable, 1 tablespoon of fruits, 1 tablespoon of grains, 1 tablespoon of proteins, and then on the side you should have a dairy product. And by 1 year, according to this recommendation, by 1 year, infants should be eating meals with family and also have regular schedule, and you should encourage self-feed. So by 1 year, you should just make them eat by themselves how much they can. There are people or there are mothers who go on feeding the child, not self-feeding, but the mother is feeding the child maybe till 9, 10, 11 years also. So you should not be doing that. So a child should learn how to eat starting from age 1 year. So according to this plate, this is the recommendation. Now come to healthy eating plate. It has almost the similar content, but there are some differences which I'll be discussing later. So here also you can see there are 4 sections. Vegetable comprising the maximum portion, followed by fruits, then there is whole grains, there is healthy protein. And then instead of dairy products, they recommend water, and then there is recommendation for healthy oils also. And this concept says one should remain active, stay active. Okay, now I'll discuss the differences between these two plates. CMP is Choose My Plate. HEP means Healthy Eating Plate. Regarding the whole grains, CMP says allow all grains. They are allowing all grains, all types of grains. Whereas Healthy Eating Plate says you should take only whole grains and limit the refined grains. So refined grains will be white bread, white rice. They are restricted in this. They do not allow these grains because they are acting like sugar, and then they increase the weight and they increase the risk of heart disease and diabetes. Healthy protein. CMP Choose My Plate allows all proteins, like all grains they allow all proteins. Whereas in Healthy Eating Plate they say fish, poultry, beans or nuts can be taken, but they limit the use of red meat, and all the processed meat also they avoid. They do not recommend, because this meat, processed meat and red meat, it increases the risk of heart disease, diabetes, colon cancer, and there is weight gain also. Vegetables. The Choose My Plate says abundant varieties of vegetables. All varieties of vegetables are allowed, including potatoes and french fries. Whereas Healthy Eating Plate says abundant variety of vegetables, but they limit the use of potatoes, because potatoes are going to have the same effect on the blood sugar as the refined grains and sweets. So they limit the use of potatoes, whereas Choose My Plate allows all types of potatoes also. Fruit is same in both recommendations. They recommend eating all colorful fruits. Coming to oils, Choose My Plate do not mention anything about oil, whereas Healthy Eating Plate says healthy oil like olive oil and other plant oil should be used in cooking and salads. And then these healthy fats reduce the harmful cholesterol, so they recommend this type of oil, but Choose My Plate do not say anything about oil. Choose My Plate water. Choose My Plate do not mention anything about water, but they are allowing milk and dairy products with each servings. Whereas Healthy Eating Plate mentions water because it is calorie free, and along with water you can even take coffee or tea without sugar. And Healthy Eating Plate also says to avoid sugary drinks, because it is going to increase obesity and diabetes. Healthy Eating Plate also says limit the taking juice, even if it is 100% fruit juice, fresh fruit juice. You should take just a glass per day, not as much as you want. And also it limits the milk and dairy products for only 1 to 2 servings per day. Whereas Choose My Plate recommended dairy product with each meal, because these dairy products, if you take in excess amount, this is also going to increase the risk of prostate and ovarian cancer. So this has been surveyed or found, so they are restricting the use of dairy product also to just 1 or 2 servings per day. Staying active. So this is mentioned only in Healthy Eating Plate. They recommend eating as well as they say to stay active, whereas Choose My Plate, they do not recommend anything regarding activity. So these are the differences between these two plates. So if you can follow this plate and then limit your diet in this, you'll stay healthy. This should be, I think, followed by children as well as the adults. Thank you. Next class I'll continue with the different parts of nutrition. I'll talk on infant feeding. Starting from infant feeding, then I'll talk on the calorie values. Thank you.